In the morning, yeah. Okay, yesterday we were learning again about laundering and things. We're discussing soaking a garment, scrubbing a garment, wringing a garment. All those things are forbidden. Now what happens if you have dust on a garment? Not something that's dirt that's absorbed in the garment, but dust, superficial dust. So if it's a lot of dust, okay, that absorbed, so if the dust became absorbed, which sometimes it could be, so then it's an argument if it's biblical or not, but the bottom line is you're not allowed to do it. But that's only if it's dust or lint which is stuck between the fibers. But if it's on top of the garment, like some lint, there's no problem cleaning it off, taking it off, but it's because it's not, you're not cleaning the garment, it's just taking it off. Now what happens if there's a lot of dust on a garment, that lint, so to speak? So the thing is, if it's so dirty, full of lint, that the person would hesitate to wear that garment in the street, so then you're not allowed to take off the lint because you're laundering it. But if it's, a few pieces here or there, a guy would wear it in the street, doesn't care, so then it wouldn't be a problem to remove it. Because then you're not really laundering the garment, you're just taking off a few loose things, that the loose lint pieces or whatever, which is there, and that's not a problem. You can't use, no, you can only brush it lightly with the hand or a dry cloth. Or you can shake the garment loosely, but you can't rigorously shake the garment, that you're not allowed to do. You can't, you can't use a lint brush. You can't use a lint brush in Shabbos. You can't use, you can use a dry cloth a little bit. The problem is dry cloth usually causes more lint than, what are you doing? No, this is cleaning, it's not that we're carrying. No, we're changing halachos. Now we're into laundering. I know. No, this is not, it doesn't matter. Generally, you can't be machal Shabbos in a thing like that. Okay, also, what happens if you have dust? So, and it's not a lot, so technically you can ask a guy to clean it a little bit. Not if it's mamish, real dirt that you, according to all opinions, are not allowed to clean. But if it's, let's say, a lot of dust, that many opinions say, even though the halachos you can't, but many opinions say even if there's a lot of dust you could. So generally speaking in halacha, if there's opinions in halacha that say you could do something, even though we don't paskin like those opinions, sometimes, and this is one of the sometimes, you can ask a guy to do it for you because it's not really forbidden. There are opinions that say you are allowed to do it. So therefore you can ask a guy to do it in this particular case. Or taking it off in an unnatural, unnormal way with his elbow. You're just not doing it the normal way of doing it, so then it's only rabbinic, and for human dignity the Chachamim permitted it. Okay, so bottom line of this thing is, it says if there's a lot of dust in it or dirt, you can't clean it. If it's, you can't remove dust with a brush or shake it hard, got cloth against cloth you're not allowed to do, and you can ask a guy to do it. Now what happens about using water to remove a stain? Now under all circumstances you can't use water to remove a stain. And we said even if it's a little bit of water, a drop of water, even if it's your own saliva, go like this, to go like this in Shabbos, you wouldn't be allowed to do it because you're cleaning the garment and it's dirt. It's not dust that's lint, because then you wouldn't need the liquid. You could just go like this and it'll come off. So what?
What if it's a non-penetrable surface like wood or plastic?
So that we learned, you can clean it as long as you don't rub it very hard.
It's better to spray and then clean, or you can use a wet towel or wet wipe to clean.
Okay, so let's say you have on this plastic cover over here, you have a dirt spot and you want to clean it. So you have two ways of doing it. Either take some little Windex, let's say spray it on, and then take a paper towel or whatever and clean it, or to wet a towel and then clean it like that. The problem with wetting a towel is then you're going to come to schita. You're going to squeeze the water out of the towel, which you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. So the best way of cleaning it, by the way, is either, if you want, you could either take a little water with your hand, yeah, clean it off on the plastic, because again, it's not absorbent, and then take a towel, a paper towel, or a shmata and a rag and clean it. Again, it depends how wet it is. If a Lysol wipe, or any wipe, baby wipes, bathroom wipes, any of those things, that if it's wet enough, if it's wet, that if you go like this, you're going to squeeze liquid out of them, you're not allowed to use them on Shabbos. It could be baby wipes, it could be napkins, whatever it may be. Even paper that's absorbent enough that if you take it and squeeze it, liquid would come out of it, you're not allowed to use it on Shabbos. Why? Because anytime you're using it, you're basically squeezing water out of a place where it was absorbed. Now, one second. Squeezing something out of a tube, let's say, is not called squeezing on Shabbos. Squeezing is when the liquid or the stuff is absorbed in the material, or in the case of a fruit, the juice is in the orange and now you're squeezing it, so then that is squeezing. But when you squeeze a tube, even though in English it's called squeezing the tube, but the cream is not absorbed it's like pouring out water from a pitcher. It's the same thing. It's not absorbed in, it's just put in there, and now you're taking it out. So that's not called squeezing. You have to know what you're allowed to do with the cream. But I'm saying,
You change the shape?
it's not called changing the shape. No, when you eat food, you also change the shape of the food in your mouth. No, it's not called, what? What did you want?
How do you clean a baby on Shabbat?
How do you clean a baby on Shabbat? You have to use wipes that are not very wet. Or what people can do, you can pour like water on the baby and then clean it up with...
Can you take a paper towel and put water on it? Or
it depends. If it's enough water that you're going to be able to squeeze the paper towel, you can't.
What about soap?
If it's just damp, then you could. Now, using liquid soap on Shabbat, I know we're going off, but liquid soap, a bar of soap for sure is forbidden to use on Shabbos, because you're scraping, it's called mamachik. You're squeezing and removing, not squeezing, you're scraping. Scraping. Huh? It's not grinding. You're not grinding it. You're scraping it off. It's called mamachik. 1 second. So liquid soap, it's interesting, a lot of the Litvish poskim hold you're not allowed to use liquid soap on Shabbos, period, because they say you're creating bubbles. So it's what's called noilad. You're creating something that wasn't there before. But the Chassidish poskim, say Shulchan, a lot of the Chassidish poskim hold that you could use liquid soap on Shabbos, providing it's a liquid, not a cream. Now, a lot of these bathroom liquid soaps, okay, let me explain. It's very simple. The soap that you use for your dishes, that's mamish liquid. It's not creamy. Okay? But the ones that you have in the bathroom that you pump out, so that it's either a foam comes out or it's creamy. It's not mamish liquidy. So that you can't do on Shabbos because you can't smoothen out a cream.
So can you put that on a paper towel?
But you can't do it in a way that you're going to be, it's enough wet that you're going to squeeze it out. What?
Yeah, when oily spot where you start unfolds on with nice white shirt, can you put some liquid?
No, that's exactly what we're learning. You're not allowed to.
Pardon? No, you put it but don't, and you dilute it but you don't wipe it, just leave it there.
Putting water on a stain on Shabbos is biblically forbidden because of malabin. You're cleaning it. You can't put water on it. It's what?
It's congealed, so I think congealed is same.
Congealed is cream. Yeah. Unless if you dilute it.
So like hand sanitizer, the same thing.
Yeah. It would be not allowed in Shabbos.
What was the reason? during COVID.
Couldn't COVID, they said Pikuach Nefesh, they came up all these things, Pikuach Nefesh, it wasn't so simple. Huh? Technically, you could dilute it on Shabbos. I mean, technically, you can't play games, but what happens, if I take a little bit of that soap in one hand, okay, and before I rub it, I take my handful of water and go like this, so immediately it's becoming diluted. So it's not a cream anymore. But when I'm rubbing it together, but again, you can't play games. You have to make sure that you're diluting it before you rub it in. You understand? The best thing is poskim right to dilute it before Shabbos. Yeah.
We learned that you're not supposed to create on Shabbos.
Correct.
I am removing a dust. What am I creating? I'm not creating anything.
You are creating a cleaner garment that didn't exist before. Again, the definition of creativity is those things that were done in the Mishkan. So because they used to, like we said at the beginning, they used to bleach the wool that they needed to dye for the curtains of the Mishkan, all the dye, right? The dyed material. There's shade, agaman, I mean, all those various different dyed materials. So before you dye a material, you have to bleach it because you have to make it white, and then you could dye it. What? Toothpaste you can't use either on Shabbos. You can use liquid toothpaste. But toothpaste is a cream, so you're smoothing, yeah.
You cannot use it.
No.
But you can brush without.
You can brush without it, but you're talking about toothpaste itself. What?
Is there any problem if we should drop some liquid soap or a drop of oil and just leave it?
No, that's called cleaning it.
That's clean.
Yeah.
So, but you said that you can use liquid soap for something,
No, to wash your hands, not
not to clean.
No. He was asking if you can't use very good baby wipes that have a lot of liquid in it, so how do you clean a baby's diaper area? Very good. So you could put water on it, you could use a cloth that's, yeah?
Wouldn't be picking the hairs for it? Like you said, you mentioned like you could pick off like things that...
You mean the lint
Yeah.
and things? Okay, it's a good point, but the answer is, birded is only, I'll give you an example. Okay, this has money in it, but if this would be a siddur, yeah? Can I take it off the table on Shabbos? Is that birded? Why not?
It's not a part of it.
Birded means selecting. Selecting means when things are mixed, and then taking one part of it from another part of it. Okay? But if something is on top of something, it's not selecting. I'm removing. Removing is not selecting. Okay? There is I know we're going way off topic, but when you want to peel an orange on Shabbos, okay, or any fruit or vegetable that you want to peel on Shabbos, in a certain respect, it is considered better because you're selecting, it's all together, so you're selecting the peel. So that is allowed to peel a fruit on Shabbos, but only right before you're going to eat it. You can't make a fruit salad Friday night, let's say by peeling oranges or lemon, I mean whatever, any fruit that you're going to peel. You can only do it because it is a form of butter, because over there it's not, it's because it is together and you're really selecting it. It's, even though it's removal. But the reason why it's not butter, it's removal. So when you have hair or lint on your garment and you're taking it off, you're not selecting, you're removing. The only question is that called cleaning? So if it's not absorbed in the garment, then we learned if it's not over the majority of the garment, then you can clean it. Not by rubbing it, but you can just take it off a little bit. If it's absorbed in the material, then you can't. So you can clean a stain, a dirt spot, something spills on plastic, you can clean it because it's not absorbed. You're not cleaning the plastic, you're just removing the dirt. It didn't absorb anything. Cleaning is when you remove dirt from a place where it was absorbed. But if it's not absorbed, then you're not cleaning the garment. You're removing, it's like the lint. You're removing it from the, what? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The halacha that it's telling you to have a clean attire, is that the right? If a rabbi wants to give us
The Gemara says a Talmud Chacham that has the Vav al Bigdei, the Vav literally is translated a grease spot on his garment, is Chayiv Misa. Now it doesn't mean Bais Din is going to kill him. The reason why he's Chayiv Misa is because it's a Chil Hashem. People say, oh, look at the rabbis dressed like slobs. I mean, okay, whatever. But that's not enough, though, to desecrate Shabbos.
So the rabbi is going to stand up and he's has a bird.
He should change his clothing before he comes to show.